Yet another topic that we would like to explore is the principal component analysis, and this is a part of machine learning, but it's not an algorithm as such. Okay, this is a dimensionality reduction technique, and it falls under the unsupervised machine learning category. So now, firstly, why does it fall under the unsupervised machine learning? Because even though we would be given a kind of labeled data, we would be working on only the X data. Because when it comes to implementing the PCA, the principal component analysis function, we applied only on the X variables. We do not consider the Y variable here, and that's the reason it falls under this unsupervised machine learning category. So remember, you might have a lot of data along with the X variables as well as the Y. But while you implement principal component analysis, it's only the X variables that you will work upon. So to tell you a little bit about principal component analysis, as I mentioned, it's not an algorithm, it's a dimensionality reduction technique. So now what are dimensionality reduction techniques? These are techniques that allow you to cut short on the dimensions in the data. And dimensions are nothing but the variables given to you in the data set. So when you are working on to situations where the data set has a lot of variables, let's say there were hundreds of variables in the data, you would usually try to reduce the number of variables from various perspectives, like some of the variables which are domain wise not important, or some of them which are logically irrelevant with respect to the problem statement, or sometimes you may also eliminate variables on the basis of high amount of missing values, etc. So you might put in your own efforts to reduce the variables at the initial stage, but you may still be left off with a lot of variables. Like from 100 you may come down to maybe 70 or 80, and that in itself could still be a huge number. So when you build a model onto those maybe 70 variables as such, you may observe that the model is quite a complex model that you end up building there. And the time that is taken in order to build that model is also very high. So when you still want to further cut short on the number of variables which are present in that data set, that is where you can make use of principal component analysis. This, as the name suggests, will analyze the principal components into your data. So those components which are very important is what it will understand from the data, and those are the variables that it will return to you. So now, just to tell you a little bit about how PCA works, so it makes use of linear algebra, where you try to firstly identify the eigenvalues for each of the variable, which talks about how much of variance does each of the variable carry with respect to the overall data. And based on those eigenvalues, it tries to tell you which are the principal components. So it helps you to get the minimum number of components that carry the maximum amount of variance in the data. So the principal component, that term principal, is because these are the components, although less in number, but they carry the maximum amount of information. So using those principal components in the data, when you try to build the model, you will still end up getting an almost similar model, because you're not losing much on the information side, but you're drastically bringing down the number of dimensions as such. So you will be able to build models which will be having less number of dimensions, making it less complex, and still be able to achieve an almost similar accuracy that you would have got normally. So that is the essence of principal component analysis. So remember, it will just help you subset the variables. So let's say from those 70 variables that we were left off with, if we apply PCA, we may come down to about maybe just 10 to 15 variables. And using those components that we have got as the output, we will be trying to implement the model. Now, which model to implement here, that's depending upon the situation. So be it a regression problem or a classification problem, you can choose whichever algorithm you want to apply from those respective categories. But the most important point is this will not build a predictive model for you. It will just subset the data, and you are on your own to apply whatever algorithm you want to apply onto the data that is received as the output. So that is what principal component analysis is used for. And if you talk about a couple of applications of principal component analysis, then the very important application is the feature extraction, which is what we discussed just now in brief, right? That out of all the variables that have been given to us, we can extract the principal components in order to help you build the model. So feature extraction is the primary application. The secondary application that you can think about is the model visualization. So what happens is that when we work onto any of the model, it usually consists of n number of dimensions, right? So we are unable to visualize how the model looks like. For example, if we build a logistic regression model and we want to see how does that best fit line look like, we wouldn't be able to do that efficiently because the model consisted of about, let's say, 20 independent variables. Now what I can do is, using PCA, I can extract the two principal components from that data. So using PCA, I can extract the two principal components from the data. I can plot it on the x and the y axis, and I can try to see how the best fit line looks like into that set of data. So that is how you can also use this principal component analysis in order to do the data visualization part. So these are a couple of applications where PCA can be effectively used, and it makes use of the linear algebra, as I said, in order to extract the principal components out of your data so that you can go ahead and build efficient models on the basis of those data.